So this is a recording for the topic number 2, Information System Development Approaches. So this is the second chapter for the System Analysis and Design course that is pre-recorded for a possible preparation in case of disruption of classes and other related activities. So for this chapter, we will going to discuss on the system development life cycle, which is commonly known as the SDLC, approaches to the SDLC, and some of the common system development methodologies, as well as the models. Now, so the question of almost all is what is the first thing that the analyst needs to do? So the question goes like, the first dilemma of every analyst is where to start. So like questions, what to ask first, what problem to focus first, do I need to start from the top executives or should I start at the bottom? Those approaches are identified as top-to-bottom approach or bottom-up approach in which we gather information based on sort of availability at some point of the resource person that we need to ask for us to get information. So this is basically one of the most dilemma, and this is the challenges of every analyst to where we are going to start or where the starting point is. And in that starting point, once we already have started it, padayon or patuloy na yung mga activities na. So basically, the starting point is usually one of the most challenging part in system development. So a system development life cycle is a conceptual model that describes the phases involved in an information system development project, from the initial feasibility study through the maintenance of the completed application. So the problem of a system analyst asking where he or she will going to start will be answered to this, because this is structured and it is already proven and already been tested that these processes or this model in this process has already identified what are the things that must be needed to do, at the same time what are the deliverables or the outcomes that is needed for it to finish the whole projects. So as you can see here, this is the 7 phases of SDLC, the newer version compared to the old version which has only 5, which is the planning, analysis, design, implementation, and maintenance. For this, you have identifying problems, opportunities, and objectives, determining the human information requirements, analysis, designing of the recommended system, developing and documenting the software, testing and maintaining the system, then implementing and evaluating the system. So for this chapter, we'll just go through with what are the overall activities and deliverables of each phases. After this chapter, we're going to focus on every phases there is. So chapter 3 or topic 3 will focus on identifying problems, opportunities, objective. Chapter 4 will be determining human information requirements, and so on and so forth. So these are the phases. Okay, so let's dwell with some of the overall activities and what are the things to do in every phases. So first is more on identifying the problem, opportunities, and objectives. This is critical to the success of the rest of the project because no one wants to waste time addressing the wrong problems. So what are the things to do in the first phase? Interview the user management. So this will be considered as initial interview for us to gauge ano yung mga information that needed to identify the problem and for us to build or to make our feasibility study. Summarizing the knowledge obtained from the initial data gathering, estimating the scope of the project, then documenting the results. So remember, the function of the system analyst is to be able to produce a well-documented system from the very beginning up to the end part of the project. So from this, the system analyst also should be able to not only to gather information but to make a good documentation for the project initiation. Now, so ano yung output in terms of this phase? So the feasibility containing the problem definition, objectives, summaries, from which the management can make decision whether to proceed with the proposed project or not. This will be one of the main reasons why we need to conduct also the feasibility study, both in terms of technical, operational, economical, at the same time, the schedule feasibility for us also to provide our system owners or our benefactors, our clients, an idea if this is feasible in terms of their resources and capabilities as well. So, by definition, problems are generally the reason why you are called in the first place. If you're not being called, maybe the analyst believes that there is a possible improvement through the use of computerized information system. Well, that is basically the opportunity. Opportunity for possible improvement. Then objectives, these are the, how can the business reach its objectives? By addressing specific problems or possible opportunities that we identified. So meaning, make sure once we make objectives, as we all know, we make objectives using the acronym na SMART. But other than that, we need to make sure also that our objectives is also in line with the objectives of the organization or the company that we are making or we are proposing a system to. So this is very important that they should be vertically aligned in terms of their outlook, their goal, their mission, and vision. So for you to be able to conduct also a very good initial planning, initial data gathering rather, you need to ask those information. If the organization has this VMGO, the vision, the mission, goals, and the objectives, then all of the objectives of the proposal should be in line or at least be considering those outlook ng company natin, not only today, but the future outlook ng possible improvement or possible na mga new investments if that is included in their goals, missions, or vision. Okay? So, second phase, determining human information requirements. Once na-satisfy na si feasibility study, meaning the owner, the company owner says, sige, we can proceed with the project, then this will be the things that the team or that be the analyst will be initiating to. So first is interviewing. So this will be gathering thorough information throughout the whole processes, sampling and investigating the hard data, questionnaires, if you will be using questionnaires, observes the decision makers' behavior and environment. But medyo tone down tayo, not to be very creepy on this part. We can do also prototyping if they need to see ano yung mga possible output natin. Then also, this is very important, we need to learn the who, what, when, where, and how and why the current why of the current system. So basically, we need to understand here to gather enough information ano yung mga pasikot-sikot in terms of the processes, the business process of the organization. Kasi after this, we will be making on the analysis which will lead to the design of our information system. Okay? So what are the outputs? So the output should be the analyst understands how users accomplish their work when interacting with a computer. Sir, wala pang computer, so you need to make sure that we can translate their manual activities into computerized system or automated systems. And also, to begin to know how to make a new system that is being more useful and usable. I already discussed this on the first chapter, which is we have the business system that it involves policies. Some information systems try to change those business processes or business systems to be able to fully fit and maybe improve, of course, the processes of the business process. So you need to make sure that the analyst should be able to understand this. Okay? The analyst should also know the business functions and have a complete information on the people, goals, data, and procedures involved. Meaning, you as an analyst, you need to answer what are the user's strengths and its limitations. Now, since you already gathered enough information from the phase 2, then the next thing is you are going to analyze the system needs. Now, this is where the modeling, the system modeling starts. So what are the things that you need to do to create a sample data flow, activity, or possible sequence diagram? So you will be doing a lot of system modeling here. Complete the data dictionary for the database, analyze the structured decision made, prepare and present the system proposal. Now, your output is the recommendation on what, if anything, should be done with the system. So you need to be able to distinguish here what are the current problems in visual and at the same time possible if they need a proposal in a well-documented proposal. So what are the deliverables? So data flow diagram. We will be dealing this one also in the following chapters. So this is the chart to show the input, process, and output of the business functions in a structured graphical form. The data dictionary lists the data items used in systems as well as their specification. Data dictionaries basically act as a supplemental documentation of the system model, or it could be a design model. So another is, it could be also a structured decision made for those of which conditions, condition alternatives, actions, and action rules can be determined. So for example, let's say, ang mga decisions like for example, if we are working with lending, you cannot proceed it unless it being approved by specific people. Like for example, sino yung magsi-CA or yung mga magche-check in a house-to-house basis if the customer is capable to pay ba the amount that he or she wanted to borrow from the lending company. So ano yung mga structured decision methods? We have the structured English, decision tables, and the decision trees. Another also deliverable is the system proposal. This summarizes what has been found out about the users, the usability and usefulness of the current system. This is very important in the system proposal. Ano yung mga current na problems? Ano yung dapat na pwede improve din? Okay? It provides also the cost and benefit analysis of the alternatives. If you want a comparative study about this, then you can also make a recommendations on what or if anything should be done. So, and other related diagrams are needed for the third phase. Okay. Now, after the third phase, proceed with fourth phase, which is designing the recommended system. So if you already have analyzed all of those information, ano yung mga problems, ano yung mga pwede improve, now will be the best time for the analyst to begin with the design of the new system. Remember, designing the new system is basically, you are now having the possible information system layout, design, logics, and etc. so that the next phase will be more on development and programming. So this design should be able to be easily read and understand by the developers on the next phase. So what are the things to do? So design procedures for data entry, design the human-computer interface, HCI. You will be having a course in HCI, and this is very important because this has been a growing specialization in which there are courses in specific HCI, even programs being offered for HCI. You need to look forward and make use of your time in your courses in HCI because this is very, very good and this is very important in terms of system development. The system design controls, the design database, and ano yung mga files that we needed to design, and also design backup procedures. And also the output is technically the model of the actual system. You can have this one as under a wireframe. There are applications like Figma who does a wireframe that you can present your system in a wireframe model. So the wireframe is just what are the possible views. So this is the intro, or this is the landing page or the home page, and the following activities, following views in the system. Okay, next. For a while. Okay. Yeah. Naglag lang. Okay. Okay. Nasa mouse pala. Wait lang. I'll just be going back. Oops. Okay. Ayun. So, next will be In designing the recommended system also, it uses the information collected earlier to accomplish the logical design of the information system. So it designs the procedures for users to help them accurately enter the data, provides the users to complete effective input to the information system, and of course, devise the human and computer interfaces. Okay? Kaya nga kanina I mentioned, you can make use of a wireframe. Okay? So you can also make use of the design files of the database that will store the data needed by the decision makers. And also you need to design the output, both the on-screen report and the printed report. Contrary to common perception na yung report lang is printed, no. The things that you can see in your system, like for example, the summary, the on-screen summary is considered also as a report. Then, you need to have the design of the controls and the backup procedures. So if you have database backup, or if you have batch processing of the system, of the records in database, for example, you design your system in such a way that it can cater local transactions, save your transactions in the local database muna, then at a specific time or number of executions, it will make a backup to the whole system. So we call that one as batch processing of the records in the database. So once it triggers, so for example, every 11 p.m., it does the backup to the online database. So all of the records in the local database from a specific date of time will be processed on a batch basis through the online server. Okay? So next will be the fifth phase, which is developing and documenting the software. So in this, the analyst works with the programmers to develop any original softwares. So now, since the design has been already made, you are going to transfer this one to the developer. So the developer will get to develop based on your design, and you need to work closely with the programmer for the development of the entirety of the software. Now, you also need to work with the users to develop effective documentation. Remember, as I mentioned on the first chapter, the analyst serves as the bridge between the technical team, which is your programmers, designers, etc., to the users. So you need to be able to communicate from then and then for both of the execution functions and possible revisions. The programmers design the codes, design code, and remove syntactical and errors from the computer programs, which is mainly that's the function of your programmer. Then you are going to have the documentation of the software, which will help you to be able to have a good documentation. So this will help the users if you have procedural manuals. Like for the websites, we have the FAQ, or the frequently asked questions, on how to navigate or access this specific part of the information system. So manuals or recorded, the trend today is online or recorded video on how to use it. It's not already yung manual na printed manual. That would be mga medyo old school. Today, recorded na yun how to use the functionality or the features of the information system. So what are the outputs of phase 5? Computer programs and the documented system. So procedure manuals, online help, websites, or yung mga README files are also included. So, the analyst uses structured charts and pseudocodes to communicate to the programmer what needs to be programmed. That's the reason at the early stage of your stay in the computing course, you need to be able to know how to make use of the code, understand pseudocode as well. So, because users are involved in the beginning, the documentation should also address the questions that have raised and solve jointly with the analyst. Okay. So, the sixth phase will be testing and maintaining the system. So, ano yung mga activities here? So, test the information system. So, in testing, we have alpha and beta. I suppose we already mentioned that one. Then, we also have the system maintenance, then maintenance documentation. Now, output, if problems, ano yung problems? Then, updated programs and the documentation of the updated programs. Now, testing should take place first with the sample data before the actual data. Remember this. Kasi we don't know if the system you develop still not that in terms of security and in terms of possible cybersecurity na mga features that may able to protect their data. So it's always best for you to make use muna of a dummy data before using the actual data. The actual data will be part of the deployment now once you convert their old data into the new data or the database that you're using for execution now. So testing is done by both the programmers and the analysts. So the maintenance started here is carried out routinely through the lifetime of the system. So this is very important also. As I mentioned, mas mataas pa yung lifetime ng maintenance kaysa sa development ng system. Of course, we wanted, or our users and the company will want to make use of the system as long as possible since they will be paying in that one. Okay? Updates should be able to done also to keep the integrity of the information system. So during also the development of the testing, an analyst can also include features like, for example, if there are if there are bugs or problems being recorded, that should be also recorded in the database so that once you do maintenance, all you need to do is to check on the logs, error logs, bug logs, and etc. for you to be able to identify what causes the problem, what happens with the problem, ano yung mga nag-trigger ng possible problems. For the maintenance people, that will be easy lang yung maintenance and functionality. Easy to fix yung mga problems ng identified sa system. Okay? Because it's already identified there. If you have problem logs sa database nyo and it's already been kept there every time na may errors. Okay? So, why there is a necessity of the system maintenance? So, as you can see here, so the maintenance of the system is basically mas mataas pa yung lifetime niya or execution time compared sa development. So, some researchers estimate that the time spent on the system maintenance may be as much as 60% to the total spent of the development of the new system and other activities. Okay. So, why is it very important? First is to remove the software errors and yung mga problems. Then, probably it enhance existing software. Okay? So, maybe during the analysis or meaning on the not on the analysis, the data gathering part, there are some things na medyo vague and medyo hindi gaano na focus, may mga things na medyo hindi gaano siya na implement sa system na hindi siguro maybe was not identified or was not checked thoroughly during the testing phase. So this will be the time which the maintenance people or the maintenance team will be able to improve the system as per recommendation, as per need also by the users. So over the time, the cost of the continued maintenance will be greater than creating the entire new system. So at that point, it becomes more feasible to perform new systems na to study. So meaning, for example, if the system, they want to develop this one, to add this one, to change this one, kasi marami ng changes sa business process that is not already supported by the information system. So there will be time na mas malaki na yung costing natin in terms of maintenance compared to developing new system. So some will just opt na, sige, gawa na lang tayo na panibagong system, we'll just be making a new system from scratch, considering ano yung mga changes, ano yung mga possible na improvements that we need to do also. Okay? Necessity of the system maintenance also considers the computer programs that must be modified and kept up to date. So ano yung mga reasons for enhancing existing softwares? First is the user request. We don't like this, we don't like that. For example, in CMU, before we are using the enrollment system, we're using a desktop application pa, then maybe because we need more flexibility and we need more also para masynchronize lahat ng mga functionalities in the enrollment system, we opted to use a web, which uses also view for students in terms of possible na grades and schedule checking. Maybe in the future updates that will include also online or student-triggered enrollment in the future. Okay? The business changes over time, yes. The only thing that is constant is change, so the business itself, the business process itself can grow. So this will be some of the reasons why we need to enhance the software that we have developed. Then, of course, hardware and software compatibility. Last is implementing and evaluating the system. So we train the users, we analyze the analyst plans a smooth conversion from old to new, and review and evaluate the system. Okay? So yung output neto is the trained personnel, which is the training users to handle the systems, especially if you are medyo in terms of bago masyado or maraming bago na executions or bagong mga policies that include because of the implementation of the new information system. How to use it, yung mga executions na ganyan. So you need to train also. Okay? System conversion is converting the files from old formats to a new one. So for example, all database that you're using, you convert a new one. Kung hard copy naman, so you need to hire, kaya nga maraming hinahire na data encoders because those are the reasons why data encoders exist also. They will be converting some of the data from hard copy or ano ba yun to digital copy for some reasons na kailangan i-port sa database or i-transfer sa database. Okay? Also installing equipments and bringing the new system into the production. And not sure why. Okay. So, the next topic is more on the approaches to SDLC. Yung problem is naglolo ko yung So, when we say system development life cycle, yun yung identified na 7 phases. Now, there are different approaches on how we do that. First will be the traditional, the agile, and also we have the object-oriented approach. Yun. Yeah. I'm not sure why, but yun. So, we are now at the second topic. Again, approaches to SDLC. Okay. Okay. Ayun. So, the traditional is also known as the structured system development, for which a system is created and the development parts of the system development life cycle suggest. Yung whole cycle lang. So yung parang structured niya. Parang waterfall. Example of traditional is the waterfall talaga na approach in SDLC. Object-oriented is an alternate approach to the structured approach of the SDLC that is intended to facilitate the development of system through change in terms of rapid responses to dynamic business environments. So the analysis is performed on a small parts of a system followed by the design and its implementation. So one of the thing or parang sikat in terms of this is the unified modeling language, which has the following activities. So define the use case model. So ano yung mga use case diagram, ano yung mga scenarios which will be doing also for, I suppose that will be on the analysis stage. We will be creating also the UML diagrams, development of the class diagrams, draw the state chart diagrams, modify the diagrams based on the needed changes, then develop and document the system using this. So the UML approach is basically, it uses the stories, user stories. Ito yung mga parang term na medyo sikat in terms of UML. You get the stories. Ano yung stories? The stories are the things that the users will tell you how to do their job. And those stories will be converted into these use case diagrams and the use cases, or, we call it as the scenarios. So those scenarios will be then converted into a feature set diagram. Then the feature set will be converted into a test case diagram, or a test cases rather. Not a test case diagram, but test cases. So from there, from the user stories into conversion of the actual system. So the cycle repeats with analysis, design, and implementation of the next part, and this repeats until the project is completed. So it examines the objects of the system, part and parcel per object ang execution and development. So in terms of object-oriented SDLC approach, we have object-oriented analysis, object-oriented design, and object-oriented programming. So generally works well in situations where complicated information systems are undergoing continuous maintenance, adaptations, and redesign. This is very similar to Agile at some point, but yeah, medyo sikat din naman si Agile as mentioned and commonly being utilized in terms of mga big companies today. So next will be what are the system development methodologies and the model. So by definition, methodology is just a procedure. Ano yung mga step-by-step process natin? So we'll just be going to models after methodologies and models. Ano yung mga best fit in some cases, Is it okay ba sa mga large-scale problems, small-scale problems, or ano yung mga medyo may problema in terms of approaches and practicality in terms of their requirements and the kalaki ng problem in terms of the design. So we'll be running down with the models and methodologies. So waterfall, prototyping, XP, Agile, UML, RAD, JAD. Okay? Now, the methodology SDLC may be modified or altered for it to be more effective in developing an information system. But again, still uses the core principle of the development phases. Thus, we call it as the model. Some merges some of the phases, like a 7-phase is already 6-phase only, but yung 6 phases because a phase, for example, phase 1, phase 2 is being merged into a single phase. But ultimately, yung concept ng SDLC is still there, from the identifying the problem up to the maintenance itself. Okay. So first is waterfall. So this is often considered as the traditional or the classic approach. Okay? So again, the method follows a linear and sequential in terms of execution. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So this model is used on the metaphor that when one phase is finished, then the development needs to be on the next stage or phase with no turning back unless you are now at the maintenance and creating another solution na naman. So basically, that's the waterfall model. So you cannot go back. Hindi to siya flexible and in some point at some point kasi you need to finish the first phase before proceeding to the next phase. This is the problem of the waterfall kasi you need to know the user requirements, very and thorough understanding of the user requirements before you will be adapting to this. So the drawback of this is that it accept expected changes and revisions that become necessary with most of the projects. So once application is in the testing phase, it will be very difficult to change or to make adapt changes kasi again, we need to test it, medyo little revision lang, then ano na dapat. The next model is more on the prototyping. So a prototyping is a methodology, is a system development methodology in which a prototype is built, tested, and then reworked as necessary until an acceptable prototype is achieved from which the complete system or product can now be developed. So in addition, this model is more on iterative an approach. Basically, it's a trial and error that takes between the developers and the end users. So prototype 1, okay na po ba? Hindi, gusto namin i-revise. Okay, let's do prototype 2. Okay na ba? Konting change, prototype 3. Hindi, balik tayo sa prototype 1. That will be some of the problems of prototyping at some point. So this is the model of prototyping. So identifying the problem. Then, if you have initial requirements, you develop the prototype. So if the prototype is inefficient, convert to operational. Okay? So if implementation and use of prototype there is parang hindi pa pwede, then you need to make sure that to revise and enhance the anong tawag nito, the prototype until such time na it will going to be converted into an operational system. So ano yung concern lang kasi every time you revise, this will be a possibility of new requirements. Ito yung hindi pwede sa waterfall. Kasi sa waterfall, you need to be very specific and you need to know what are the user requirements upon starting pa lang the problem or the development. This, possible siya for changes. Medyo sobrang flexible din naman. Okay? But, ang advantages naman niya is may provide proof of concept necessary to attract funding. Which is yung waterfall natin, hindi gaano siya kasi you will be building with prototypes for possible na you need to, convince pa the stakeholder natin or yung client natin na pwede siya, maganda pala siya, but kailangan may prototype na ipapakita. Early visibility of the prototype gives users an idea of what is the final system will look like. It also encourages active participation among users and producers kasi they will be testing, will be checking it during prototype na meeting. Enables a higher output for users kasi alam naman natin na once they want to have this, it will be revised. However, ang cost effective naman at some point is medyo siya reduce at some point, but not necessarily depending on the number of prototypes that you will be building. Okay? It increases system development speed. It assists to identify any problems with the efficacy and earlier design, requirements analysis, and coding activities kasi medyo marami involved sila. It helps to refine the potential risks associated with the delivery of the new system that is being developed. However, ang disadvantage naman is possible hindi siya matatapos kasi puro revisions. The producers might also produce system inadequate for overall organizational needs. User can get too involved. This is one of the problem ng prototyping and later yung dyan. Okay? Where programs can be too high standard kasi always revision. Okay? Structure of the system can be damaged since many changes could be made and not suitable for very large applications. Okay, next we'll proceed with extreme programming. So extreme programming or XP is a discipline of a system development that follows a specific structure that's designed to simplify and expedite the process of the development of the software. So medyo focus sila in terms of creating the software, making sure that you have a high level na software that you are working. Okay, so this is the extreme programming. So ano yung mga activities niya is you have exploration, then you have iteration of the planning, then the iteration of the execution. So basically, ano nangyari dito is you have pair programming. If I can just, meron yung isang part ng presentation. Wait lang. Okay, so just going to proceed na lang with this one. So, again, the exploration will focus on the user stories. Then, yung user stories natin will be part of the planning phase, which is we analyze and we do the activities the activities of the planning, design, analysis, and the designing. So, the iteration, it will focus on the development. So, you have pair programming. Some approaches to extreme programming is there is a programmer in the location where each the team resides, as well as in the site where each the company resides also, which will be having a collaborative na execution or development of the system. Okay. Ayun. Okay. So, we'll be just using this view na lang siguro. Then, again, this will be on a customer approval. May idea siya, may concept siya in terms of prototyping kasi medyo may iteration din naman. However, not as fluid as iteration. Okay? So, once accepted, yun, kapag hindi, that will be an iteration until matatapos yung system.
It's 11 hours.
Then, in terms of extreme programming, the key emphasizes of extreme programming are the use of a two-person programming teams, having a customer on-site during the development process. So this will be communicating ano yung problema dito, okay na ba ito, and so on and so forth in terms of the execution. So ano yung mga advantages niya? Better in communication among developers. It will be higher levels of productivity, and this will give you a very good high-level quality of codes. Again, yung context nito is more on the development of a very good software. Okay? It doesn't mean naman na hindi maganda, but mas naka-anchor siya in terms of things that we need to develop kasi you will be working with two teams ng developers. Okay? Reinforcement of the other practices in XP such as a code testing discipline na approach as well. Okay? However, the disadvantage naman niya is problems with unstable requirements. So you need to have a very stable requirements at the start pa, parang similar to the waterfall. Okay? No documented compromises of user conflicts and also lack of order or design specifications on documents. So as you can see there also sa parang approach ng model, medyo wala gaanong emphasis in terms of designing, documentation of designing kasi just right after data gathering, planning, execution na or creative code. So there are things na hindi na i-include in terms of documentation which is medyo yung documentation medyo na anong tawag nito na neglect at some point. Okay? Next is the agile modeling. But in recent na mga documentations, agile becomes a methodology itself. Parang ano na siya, parang ka-level na siya ni SDLC at some point. Okay? So, agile modeling is a practice-based methodology for modeling and documenting a software-based system. Okay? This is proposed to be a collective values, principles, and practices for modeling software that can be applied in an IS development project. So, ano yung mga executions niya? So, we have exploration, planning, then we have the iteration, it could be the first release, and etc. Then productionizing, then the maintenance phase. So, this is being applied into sprints na execution. I suppose we're familiar with the sprints naman din. So for the process, it listens to the user stories from the customers. You need also to draw a logical workflow for the model to gain appreciation of the business decision and represented in the user stories. Always we are using with the user stories dito ha. Create user stories based on the logical model. Develop some display prototypes. Then using feedback from the prototype and the logical workflow diagram, you need to develop the system until you create a physical data model. So ano yung mga core practices? Iterative and incremental. I suppose you already have an idea on the previous na lessons natin for the approach na sprints. Okay? Teamwork. So model with others. Then you have active stakeholder participations. Simplicity and validation. So consider testability and prove that the model is right with the code that you have created. Next is the unified process. So the unified process is an object-oriented system development approach that is offered by the rational software. Okay? So it uses more on the approaches ng UML. Okay? So UP or the unified process designed to reinforce the 6 best practices for system development that are common to many system development methodologies. So it develops iteratively, define and manage systems requirements, use component architectures, create visual models, verify quality, and control the changes. So ito yung unified process na phases. Inception, elaboration, construction, transition, and the production. Okay? So ang approach na is para ding sprint. So para siyang may iterative na execution. So until such time na it will going to be accepted na, that will be now the release. And kapag hindi naman siya aabot for this one, meaning it's not yet satisfactory to the stakeholders, then continuous ang iteration and development niya. Okay? So inception defines the scope of the project by specifying the use cases. When the elaboration phase focus on several iterations that takes part of the system and define the requirements, design solution, and implement its solution. Yung construction is building the software na. Okay? And the transition is you turn the system over to the expected users on focus on the user training, installation, support, and the overall maintenance. Okay? The next is the rapid application development. So this is a system development methodology that emphasizes on the speed of development. So it is being achieved through a intensive user involvement in a rapid iteration and incremental construction of a series of functional prototypes of a system eventually involved into a final system. So basically, ang approach neto is more on the prototype, but it makes use of, it solves the problem of possible na hindi matapos the prototype because of palaging changes over time na, extending the development natin na time to, because of puro revisions. Yes, it encourages revisions, but on a speed development na approach. Ito yung si RAD. Okay? So, quick analysis and design. So, sa prototype cycle, build, demonstrate, refine, pabalik-balik to which the prototype will be developed, then testing and implementation. Okay? So, the key aspect here is the team includes programmer and analysts that are experienced with it. Then, there are pressing business reasons for speeding up a portion of application and the development. So, working on a novel or yung bagong e-commerce application, and the development team believes that business can be sufficiently benefit over competitors from being an innovator of this application is among the first to appear in the web. So, parang mga novel na mga executions or mga practices. Hindi gaano to maganda in terms of large scale na mga softwares din, but some did try to make this work as well. Users are sophisticated and highly engaged with the organization goals and the company. So, ang advantage ito is it's useful for projects which the user requirements are uncertain. Kapag more on iteration tayo, always puro doon tayo sa mga uncertain or still not well-defined. It encourages active and user management and participation. And the project have a higher visibility and support because of the extensive user involvement through the process. So meaning, if you have a very good involvement with the users, probably the company is very supportive and not only giving you the monetary or the financial support, but even they are considering na, sige, you can leave muna your work to be able to help them, the development team, to develop the system. Okay? So, errors and omissions tend to be detected early in the prototypes in the system. Then, the iterative approach is more natural process because it's changed as expected during the factor, it's being part of being considered or factor siya during the development. Now, disadvantage naman is yung prototypes can be easily solved wrong problems since problem analysis is abbreviated or ignored. You can review or you can check later the model itself. So a RAD-based prototype may discourage analysts from considering other more useful technical alternatives, and the emphasis on the speed adversely impacts some of the quality of the process, of the whole process. So ito yung parang disadvantage naman ng RAD. Okay? I'm not sure, but I suppose this will be the last, the joint application development. So the JAD is an application development. That's a system development methodology that involves the client or end users in a design and development of application through a succession of collaborative workshops such as the JAD sessions. So meaning, there will be meetings after meetings after meetings, but the meetings will not only involve the team that develops, but a representation of the whole department or yung mga representative ng mga members ng organizations. So, yung mga judge sessions. So, puro meeting, maraming meeting dito na nangyayari. Okay? So, participants of these sessions will typically include facilitator, end user, developers, observers, mediators, and experts. So, this is being developed as late as 1970s na execution. So, a variation of JAD is the RAD, which attempts to create application more quickly through strategies that includes fewer and formal methodologies and reusing the components. Now, a major advantage of JAD is it allows the users for simultaneous gathering and consolidating of large amounts of information. However, yung drawback naman is JAD is open to a lot of scope and interpersonal conflict. Kasi, as mentioned kanina, the JAD sessions includes sino yung mga experts and involved in quiz parties, which also during the meetings might be siguro problematic at some point. Okay? Kasi maraming ideas na nag-pop up, the team cannot focus on the problem kasi lahat is asking for a solution, and that might be also a problem in terms of the approach of the JAD. Okay? So, before I'm going to end this recording, so the challenge is to identify what methodology fits the business system requirements the most. And that will be the reference of this presentation. So, yeah, thank you for your attention. And please review if kaya pa. I'm not sure if, how long the recording is, but this will be part of the examinations as well. Okay? Thank you for attention. Bye.